We're hearing from Vice President Kamala Harris for the first time since President Joe Biden announced he will not be seeking a second term and threw his support behind Harris. She hosted college national champions at the White House today. While she did not address her nomination, she did, however, share what it's like to work beside the president.
His honesty, his integrity, his commitment to his faith and his family, his big heart, and his love, deep love of our country. And I am firsthand witness that every day our President Joe Biden fights for the American people, and we are deeply, deeply grateful for his service to our nation.
President Biden was supposed to be at this event, but he's still recovering from COVID. In the meantime, there are big questions about whether or not the Democratic Party has enough time to make the change at the top of the presidential ticket. In just a few weeks, the party convention will get underway, and even before the deadlines are looming in states to get on the ballot. Fox 5's Tom Fitzgerald is live on the Hill. Fitz, you spoke to a Democratic Party chairman today. What are you learning?
Shamari, good afternoon. That's right. And when we say time is short, friends, that is not a cliche. There are just 27 days before Democrats will gather in Chicago for their convention. So not only is the time running out, the ways to go about doing this are running short as well. Here's the situation. There are 3,900 pledged delegates right now to President Joe Biden. They were elected and obligated to vote for the president. Now that he is out, the job of figuring out how they are going to proceed is now underway. Normally, those pledged delegates are obligated to cast their vote for the person they had pledged to. Now, with all of this off the table, we are expecting at some point President Biden is going to be officially releasing his delegates to vote their own conscience. Now, most party leaders are already throwing their support behind Vice President Kamala Harris. Fox 5 spoke with the Maryland Democratic State Party Chair Ken Ullman. He also happens to be a member of the DNC Rules Committee. He tells Fox 5 tonight the party is going to go ahead with a virtual roll call sometime in early August. That is to get ahead of some of these other states' ballot deadlines, but he made it clear there is no time to spare.
We want to make sure we have plenty of time for our nominee. I hope it's Kamala Harris. Our delegation does. We want plenty of time for our nominee to be on the ballot in every state, so we have a fair election between Donald Trump and our Democratic nominee and a sprint till November.
Now, Fitz, you also spoke to some Republicans as well today on Capitol Hill, and what are they telling you?
They're not happy about this, Shamari, in a couple of ways. They're attacking it on the basis, number one, of saying that there were 14 million Democrats during the Democratic primaries who voted for Joe Biden. Republicans have been at the receiving end of a series of attacks over the last 4 years about the GOP interrupting and obstructing people's vote. They are now saying that issue is effectively off the table because the Democrats, if they move to make Kamala Harris their nominee, they would be wiping clean these 14 million votes. They also say they have big questions about the fundraising here. That money that was raised, was to the Biden-Harris campaign, not the Harris campaign. However, there was some major news out of Democrats today that they've raised, upwards of well over $100 million in just the last 24 hours. So both sides are going at it over this, even in this last 24 hours since this news was made, Shamari.
All right, Tom, thank you. This leads to our Fox 5 Insta poll. Should Kamala Harris become the Democratic nominee? So far, 51% of you say yes, 49% of you say no. You can vote by scanning the QR code on your screen. You can also vote on our website or on the Fox 5 app.